Sit down. Today we're reviewing the public performance of a small group of career politicians and appointed regulators who spent the last 4 years declaring war on the one piece of financial infrastructure they did not build and cannot control. The anti-crypto politicians. I want to be specific here. This is not a review of everyone in government who has questions about crypto. Some of those questions are fair. This is a review of the public figures who made "crypto is bad" their brand, their campaign slogan, and in at least one case, their literal army. You have 3 starring performers today. Senator Elizabeth Warren, former SEC Chair Gary Gensler, and former Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. 3 different résumés, 3 different agencies, and somehow the same 3 talking points: money laundering, investor protection, financial stability, on loop for years. Let's start with the senator. Elizabeth Warren did not just oppose crypto. She built a campaign around opposing it. In 2023, she literally announced on her own Twitter account that she was building what she called an anti-crypto army. Those are her words, not a joke from a blog. Her actual campaign brand. And she ran on it. In January 2026, Warren wrote directly to the SEC Chair Paul Atkins demanding to know why retirement accounts were being opened up to crypto. Her exact warning was that allowing crypto into American retirement accounts would create fertile ground for workers and families to lose big. Lose big. A politician whose job description includes the phrase "authorizing trillion-dollar deficits" is worried you might lose big on a 2% allocation. Specimen number 2. Gary Gensler, ex-Goldman Sachs, 18 years. Then ex-regulator under Obama. Then appointed SEC chair under Biden specifically to, quote, clean up crypto. And he brought the hammer. Under Gensler, the SEC filed a record 46 crypto enforcement actions in a single year. A record. That was the verb he measured himself in. Actions filed. Not cases won. Not rules written. Cases filed. Gensler sued Coinbase. He sued Binance. He sued Gemini. He sued projects that had followed his own advice when he was teaching crypto at MIT 6 years earlier. And then, after he resigned in January 2025, his successor at the SEC did something unusual. The SEC dismissed those cases with prejudice, and the agency formally acknowledged publicly on the record that Gensler's enforcement strategy had produced no meaningful investor benefit. That is not me disagreeing with Gensler. That is the Securities and Exchange Commission disagreeing with Gensler in writing, officially his own agency filing the objection. Specimen number 3. Janet Yellen, former Treasury Secretary, former Fed Chair, lifetime central banker. In December 2024, in her final Financial Stability Oversight Council report, her exit memo before leaving office, she warned that stablecoins posed, her words, classic run risk to the financial system. Bank run risk. Because a digital dollar that settles in seconds is more dangerous than the fractional reserve banks that required trillions in bailouts in 2008 and again in 2023. The outgoing Treasury Secretary's final warning was that the thing most likely to break the financial system was the thing that let you avoid the financial system. Pause on that sentence. Let it do what it needs to do. Here is what these 3 performers have in common. It is not ideology. They do not share an ideology. Warren is a populist progressive. Yellen is a centrist technocrat. Gensler is a revolving door Wall Street insider. They should not agree on lunch, but they agreed on this. Why? The answer is simpler than it looks. All three of them built careers on the premise that the financial system requires sophisticated intermediaries to keep it safe. Senators write rules for intermediaries. SEC chairs enforce rules for intermediaries. Treasury secretaries coordinate intermediaries. Their entire professional value proposition is standing between the public and the money. A protocol that settles transactions without intermediaries does not disagree with them. It makes them unnecessary. That is a different problem. You cannot argue with irrelevance. You can only try to ban it, and that is why the three talking points are always the same. Money laundering, investor protection, financial stability. Notice what is missing from that list. Missing is the existing system does all three of these things badly. Missing is the existing system has produced the largest consumer price inflation of most people's lifetimes. Missing is the existing system required the largest bank bailouts in history. None of that appears in the FSOC report. Because the FSOC report was written by the system it was defending. Here's the autopsy. When a politician opposes a technology for 4 straight years, in letters, in hearings, in campaign ads, in enforcement actions, and the technology keeps gaining users anyway, the politician is not protecting anyone. The politician is processing grief. Gensler's enforcement actions were not preventing harm. The SEC itself now says they were not. Warren's anti-crypto army did not stop Bitcoin's ETF from launching and holding more than $100 billion in assets. Yellen's FSOC warnings did not prevent stablecoins from becoming a $500 billion market in plain sight. None of the fights were won. All of them were fought, and here's the funniest part. During the years these three were fighting crypto, the traditional financial system produced on their watch a banking crisis in March 2023, a bond market repricing that nearly broke pension funds in the UK, a currency crisis in Turkey and Argentina, and a national debt that crossed $34 trillion. The people warning you about the risks of Bitcoin were simultaneously overseeing the greatest cluster of traditional finance failures in a generation. Their track record is public. It is not good. Here is what you take with you. When a powerful political figure tells you that a new financial technology is dangerous and that you need them to protect you from it, pause and ask one question. Who benefits if they are right? Usually the honest answer is they do. Their agency, their committee, their campaign, their next speaking fee. This is not a defense of every token on every chain. There are real scams. There are real risks. There are real rug pulls, and I have reviewed several of those creators on this channel. Criticism is fair. Caution is fair. But anti-crypto army is not caution. It is a brand. It is a product. It is a thing a politician sells to voters who have been told for 40 years that the scary thing in the financial system is the thing they do not already own. The people who broke your currency's purchasing power, backstopped the banks that caused the crisis, and ran up $34 trillion of debt are now telling you that a Bitcoin allocation in your retirement account is dangerous. You should at least hear the joke. This is not financial advice. This is experience. There is a difference.